The year was 1939. The world is exploding into chaos. Cities are burning, nations collapsing. But on the battlefield, history wasn't written by speeches or flags. It was written by guns. Tonight, we're diving into the top 10 deadliest firearms that shaped World War II, the weapons that ended empires and carved scars across the globe. Welcome to OldLegends, where history rises from the ashes. If you love epic stories of war, myths, and forgotten legends, hit that subscribe button. Now strap in. It's time to look death in the eye. 1. PPS 41, the Soviet burp gun. The PPS Series 41 was the sole weapon of the Red Army. Built cheap and fast, millions rolled off Soviet factories and poured into the front. Its 71-round drum and blazing 900-round per minute rate of fire turned every street and trench into a death trap for German troops. Soldiers joked it sounded like the gun was vomiting bullets. That's how it earned the name burp gun. Up close, it shredded entire squads faster than they could duck for cover. For the ordinary Soviet soldier facing tanks and elite German divisions, this gun was the great equalizer. A mechanical flood of unstoppable fire. 2. MP40, the German stormtrooper's fist. Sleek, fast, efficient. The MP40 wasn't the fastest gun in the war, but it was one of the deadliest because of WHO used it. Germany's elite stormtroopers. Designed with low recoil and smooth handling, it allowed even average soldiers to control bursts. In close-quarter rubble fights, houses, alleys, bunkers, the MP40 tore apart Allied advances. Its iconic folding stock made it perfect for tanks, paratroopers, and mechanized troops. When you heard its grim rattle echoing from a ruined street, you knew German infantry were near. Disciplined, aggressive, and ready to die for the right. 3. Thompson 1928, the American meat grinder. The Tommy gun entered world with a reputation drenched in gangster blood. Al Capone and Prohibition made it famous, but World War II turned it into a frontline monster. Chambered in .45 ACP, its bullets hit like bricks. Heavy, slow, unstoppable. Rangers used it when storming beaches. Paratroopers clung to it when landing behind enemy lines. It wasn't cheap to produce and weighed like a bag of bricks, but at close range, it was unmatched. The Thompson turned Allied soldiers into walking sawmills, clearing trenches, bunkers, and forests with brutal efficiency. 4. M1 Garand, the semi-automatic game changer. General Patton called it the greatest battle implement ever devised, and he wasn't exaggerating. While most infantry in World War II still relied on bolt-action rifles, the United States equipped soldiers with the semi-automatic Garand, meaning no bolt cycling, no pause, no mercy. 8-round clips, fast reloads, and unmatched reliability in mud, snow, and sand gave Americans a massive edge. One GI could put out more lead than 5 enemies firing slower rifles. In the carnage of Normandy, the frozen hell of the Bulge, and island jungles of the Pacific, the Garand turned battles. 5. Kar 98K, the German sniper's truth. The Karabiner 98K was Germany's workhorse rifle. Rugged, precise, and deadly accurate. Though bolt action, its long-range efficiency made it perfect for sharpshooting. In hands of skilled marksmen, it became a silent, grim reaper. German snipers hunted Soviets in Stalingrad's shattered factories and pinned down Allied units in hedgerows and forests. Reliable even in mud and snow, the Kar 98K could take a beating and still punch through helmets and bone hundreds of meters away. It didn't spray bullets. It placed them with intention, discipline, and terrifying accuracy. 6. STG-44, the first assault rifle ever. The Sturmgewehr 44 didn't just win battles. It changed the world. This was the first true assault rifle. Mid-range power, detachable magazines, and controllable full auto fire. It combined the range of a rifle with the speed of a submachine gun. German infantry suddenly had the perfect weapon for modern warfare. The STG-44 was so advanced that after the war, Soviet engineers studied it. And the result eventually became the AK-47, the most famous gun ever built. On the field, Allied soldiers simply weren't ready for its firepower. 7. Sten gun. Britain's silent killer. Ugly, cheap, stamped metal and desperation. The Sten gun wasn't made to impress. It was made to exist. Britain needed weapons fast, so they built a gun you could assemble from pipes and scrap. It jammed often, misfired sometimes, and looked like a plumbing tool. But in the hands of resistance fighters across Europe, it became a symbol of rebellion. The Sten could be hidden under a coat, smuggled under a table, and fired from the shadows. Assassinations, sabotage missions, ambushes. The Sten gave the powerless a voice, and bullets. 8. Mosin-Nagant. The Soviet ice hammer. No elegance, no comfort, just raw killing power. The Mosin-Nagant was harsh on the shoulder and clumsy in design. But when wielded by Soviet snipers like Vasily Zaitsev and Lyudmila Pavlichenko, it turned into a legend. In the frozen ruins of Stalingrad, Mosins picked off German officers, machine gun crews, and tank commanders from unseen nests. Its long barrel and powerful cartridge gave it superior accuracy at long ranges. It didn't win through technology. It won through grit, patience, and a willingness to wait for the perfect shot. 9. MG-42. Hitler's buzzsaw. No sound terrified Allied troops more than the MG-42. Spitting up to 1,200 rounds per minute, it didn't shoot bullets. It fired walls of lead. Entire companies were shredded trying to charge German positions defended by MG-42 crews. Its insane fire rate was so fast that soldiers heard a continuous scream instead of individual shots. That's how it earned the name buzzsaw. Mounted in bunkers, forests, mountains, and tanks, it turned defensive lines into meat grinders. Many modern machine guns still copy its design today. 10. Browning M1919. America's Steel Thunder. Wherever the U.S. Army went, the Browning M1919 followed. Bolted to jeeps, tanks, aircraft, ships, and bunkers, this .30 caliber machine gun was the heartbeat of Allied fire support. Reliable, durable, and relentless, it rained down suppressive fire across deserts in Africa, cliffs in Italy, jungles in the Pacific, and the hedgerows of France. Its steady rhythm pinned enemies, held positions, and chewed through German and Japanese assaults. The M1919 didn't rely on shock. It relied on endurance, firing hour after hour until the battlefield went quiet. These guns didn't just fire bullets. They fired history. They shaped battles, determined victories, and carried entire nations on their steel backs. Behind every trigger was a terrified soldier, praying they'd see another sunrise. And when the smoke cleared, the weapons remained. Silent reminders of the price paid for freedom. This is Old Legends, where the stories behind steel, sweat, and sacrifice never die. Subscribe and join the next journey into history's dark corners.